Did you ever dream of becoming a trader? Did you ever spend all day dreaming of the billions you'd make in crypto, shares, or monkey JPEGs? Perhaps you once aspired to become the greatest merchant the online world had ever seen. Obviously, your dreams crashed and burned, alongside everybody's opinion of you. You now sit at home watching YouTube videos and wondering what life could have been. But what if I told you it wasn't your fault? That you were never going to make it. Because behind the best traders, the most profitable hedge funds, and the most stacked players is the unwritten law. That those who become the richest do not play by the rules of the market. Nowhere is this more true than in a game called Runescape. On the surface, it's an online medieval fantasy game, but in reality, it's populated by scammers, criminals, and worse still, people who genuinely enjoy playing this game 27 years on. But nothing in life is free. The in-game money in these online games has long been used as cryptocurrency by people who live their lives on the outskirts of the law, and they don't care how many noobs' bank balances they ruin along the way. By using banned trading techniques that are illegal pretty much everywhere around the world, scammers found that they could earn hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of in-game currency every month, simply by manipulating the in-game market. It's a good thing that nothing like that happens in the real world. And the best part of it all is that, unlike what we covered in our last video, using these banned techniques in online games is all entirely legal, after a fashion. But the story of how this market abuse came into being actually starts outside of MMOs entirely. And if you keep watching, you'll see how these techniques have been used in old school Runescape to manipulate the market for some of the most expensive items in the game, with somebody making trillions in the process. The year is 1996, and Mr. Yasuo Hamanaka is about to be arrested. In Japan, where he lives, crime is exceedingly rare, let alone the scale of the crime he's about to be charged with. To his family and his friends, Yasuo is quiet, polite, and modest, hardly the picture of a criminal. And yet, the screens in front of him in his offices at Sumitomo Bank tell a simple but damning story. $2.6 billion gained and lost by locking down one of the world's most sought-after commodities. The story of market abuse is in many ways the story of dominance. If you have enough cash, enough capital, enough funds to control the market, you can effectively control the price. The bigger the market, the bigger the prize, and Yasuo has gone after one of the biggest commodity markets on the planet: copper. Much like Kleenex amongst my target demographic, it's one of the world's most hotly sought after and necessary commodities. And Yasuo knows a secret. Just like the Grand Exchange in Runescape, real-life market-based systems use something called a central limit order book. It's a simple piece of software that simply matches off buyers and sellers based on the price they're willing to pay. In the process, the price is automatically decided upon. And Yasuo has uncovered a simple truth behind it all. If you control the buy and the sell orders, you control the price. And if you control the price, you can control how much profit you make. Because at this point in time, Yasuo now owns 5% of the world's total copper supply. Now, 5% of the total world's copper supply might not sound like a lot to you, but Yasuo has a simple fact in his favour: that metal is heavy. Transporting copper to a country where Yasuo has cornered the market takes money, and, more importantly, time. Time enough for him to close out his positions and avoid losses. In London, at this point, he owns 93% of the spot market. Bruh. This strategy has been enough for him to artificially inflate the price of copper, raising the book value of all his copper holdings by billions in the process. Yasuo has been incredibly quiet and skillful so far. He's created multiple accounts and entities through which to buy. He's got fake companies, hidden his trading activity, and built up his positions over a number of years, always maintaining enough spare cash to counter anybody trying to ruin his strategy by flooding the market with sell orders. To his colleagues, he's a discreet and patient genius. Except today, something has gone wrong. Cornering any market requires cash. Specifically, enough cash to be able to buy a large percentage of the market's monthly supply. For the copper market, this amount is incalculably large. And yet, through a combination of Yasuo's lies, willful ignorance, and incompetence, his employer, Sumitomo Bank, has given him all the money he could have ever needed. He has a key to dominate the market. But all that has changed today. After some recent trading losses, he's been suspended from trading. His funding has been frozen. Without being able to trade, he can no longer control the market, and the price of copper crashes. His game is up, and he's about to spend the next 7 years in prison. Sumitomo Bank's trading losses from unwinding his positions reached $2.6 billion. Even after leaving jail, he was never allowed to trade again. His one and only error was getting caught. Yasuo's strategy was good, but not perfect. Scammers in online games had a few advantages that he did not. For example, real-world financial institutions often employ entire teams of people to guard against their employees trading illegally. But, as anybody who's played Runescape as a kid knows, online games are barren wastelands when it comes to regulation and compliance. And this opens the door to an entire world of banned trading techniques that we've not even talked about yet. Yasuo's strategy was to control all the supply of copper, all the sell orders, and in the process manipulate the price to be artificially higher. But RuneScape scammers found a way to go one better and control both the buy and the sell orders, control the buying and the selling, which gives you temporary power to set prices to whatever you damn well like. The first thing to do is to pick the right item to market manipulate. It should be hard to obtain so you can properly lock down the supply. Think rare items or things that can't be directly created in-game. You want to pick an item that you can afford to buy out the entire market's supply for. The second step is exactly that. You buy all the supply of that particular in-game item, just like our boy Yasuo did with copper. But the final step is where things get interesting and where we improve upon what Yasuo was doing. You go on multiple accounts and buy and sell that item multiple times between your own accounts, raising the price each time you do. This is known as wash trading, and it is very illegal in real life. But those 3 steps are all it takes. You now own a huge stack of an item that's several times more expensive than normal. And all you need to do is slowly sell it off so that average noobs have no option but to buy at the inflated price. And you're left with a stack of cash that you can easily trade for real world currency. In many ways, it's the perfect crime. There are no direct victims, and it's not actually against the law. Game developers have, for years, fought against in-game currencies being recognised as financial assets, because of, well, reasons. It's far easier to be regulated as an online playground than it is to be regulated as an online casino. The process itself isn't foolproof. You can mess it up, you can try to sell too quickly or fail to buy out all the supply, or worse still, pick a bad item. Buy limits might get in the way. But for items that are hard to obtain with a small market quantity, you're in luck. And to look no further, we need to consider this. This is the Third Age pickaxe in old school RuneScape, and it's the most valuable item in the game by a huge margin. For those of you who have known the warm touch of the sun and the feeling of morning dew on your face, aka those of you watching who don't know what this is, It is so expensive that it literally breaks the in-game currency system, which doesn't have enough zeros for this item to get sold normally. If you were to buy this at official bond prices, it would cost you over £6,000. Even at street prices for GP, you're looking at over 1,700 quid. Or over 65 times the revenue I've made from my entire YouTube career so far. So at these prices, you'd be thinking, surely just equipping this item in-game showers you in e-girls and forces you to instantly have to put on the diving apparatus in real life. Because sometime last year, something strange happened. This item started increasing hugely in price, with absolutely no change in rarity or usefulness. At this stage, with bond prices fluctuating, buying this at official value could soon be worth over £10,000, given the direction of travel. I can't imagine how much money the person or people hoarding these are sitting on. But here's the thing, its stats and its special attack are identical to the more common dragon pickaxe, which costs 1/15,000th of the price. What's even more notable is how the other Third Age items have barely moved in price over the same time period, indicating that somebody is targeting the Third Age pickaxe in particular. Now, these are all rare cosmetic items. They don't affect you, the average player, bank standing at the GE in full mum's credit card. But who's to say it'll stop there? Is the entire economy of these online games going to become just a playground for scammers and criminals? If only there was some way to enable regular players to take these scammers on and beat them at their own game. The irony of this kind of market abuse is that there's a perfect solution game developers such as Jagex could implement overnight to prevent all of this happening. The only problem is, everybody hates it. And it's called shorting. Every GameStop bag holder and their mother will scream that shorts are bad and a way to manipulate the market. And they're not wrong, but shorting offers a natural defense against scammers as well. Incidentally, me saying rude things about GameStop is exactly why you should like this video. Hit the bell and subscribe, so that when in the future I say something that you don't like, you can leave an angry comment saying unsubbed and punish me by drastically reducing the billions I earn in YouTube revenue. Do it now, your future angry self will thank you. But back to shorting. Everybody hates it, but it provides an immune system against market manipulation. When you short something, you borrow it, sell it, then buy it back later when the price has decreased. This puts supply back on the market, causing the price to go down, and it's the only way to solve the problem when someone has cornered the supply for something. But possibly, the reality is that shorting has such a bad reputation that game devs would never implement it. Which leaves us with you and your failed trading career. You were never going to make it. The free market is only truly fair if everybody plays by the same rules. And let's just say that certain political groups have made a point of targeting financial rules and regulations over the last few decades. It's a good thing that nothing like Runescape markets exist in real life, where people can use whatever trading techniques they want to drive up the price, causing you to think the item is far more valuable than offloading it to you and running off with your money while the price crashes and you lie sobbing in the ashes of your retirement plan. In the absence of rules to stop this kind of behaviour, the financial markets in online games and in the real world are inherently unfair. The rules are there to protect you, the innocent noob who wants to play at being a trader. Remember this for the next time some rich prick tells you that rules and regs are preventing their company from making enough money. Stay safe out there. Remember, it's fine to be a failed trader once, but don't make a habit of it. This has been Bonobo Economicus. You're welcome to subscribe and leave an angry comment down below. If you'd like to find out how criminals use RuneScape's currency system to launder illegal cash, you can click the video on screen now.